Hello and welcome to this episode of Sabbath Worship with Ben. Hope you all enjoy it, and as usual we'll have a lesson and a presentation. Hope you all have a blessed Sabbath. Now I'm going to do my lesson. This lesson is going to be entitled Christ-wise. Remember verse is, it was about noon, and darkness came over all of the land, because the sun had stopped shining. And the curtain in the temple was torn in two. Jesus said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. When he had said this, he breathed his last. Luke chapter 23, verses 44 to 46. So in this week's lesson, through Jesus' trial, the leaders led him away to be executed. After he was beaten, they gave him the cross to carry to place of execution, but he couldn't carry it after being abused so badly, so they took this man named Simon and forced him to carry the cross for Jesus. So as they came to the place, they put Jesus up on the cross, and he hung there for several hours, and people who walked by jeered at him, as well as the religious leaders, to come down and to save himself if he really was the Son of God. So Jesus went through extreme agony, had to be separated from God throughout all of this, and was just a serious time for all. This was the moment when humanity's fate would be decided, whether or not we would be saved from our sins. And so Jesus was going through extreme pain the night before that he had been sweating blood, so you can just barely imagine what he was going through. So as they continued, Jesus cried out to God why he had forsaken him. And he was given some wine, it says sour wine, which was really vinegar, and he was hanging up there, it says, from 12 to 3 in the afternoon, 12 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon to 3 in the afternoon. And after this, he cried out in a loud voice like he read about in the passage today, and then he gave up his spirit. So what's so impactful about this is that Jesus went through all this suffering to die for us, because he knew that if he didn't, that we wouldn't be able to overcome sin. So it was the most serious time. The angels were watching with great interest and sympathy, and Satan was doing all in his power to get Jesus to sin, but to no avail. And eventually he died and was taken down from the cross and buried, but the victory was already won over sin, and all that had to happen was for Jesus to overcome death itself. So that's the lesson for this week. It's just a reminder this Thanksgiving to be thankful for all that Jesus has done for us. To be thankful that we have this great gift, and not to waste it, but to take hold of it, to make it part of our lives, and to be unified through Christ, and to share his good news. That's the lesson for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Now I'm going to do my presentation. This presentation is going to be just a quick reminder from Genesis chapter 1. It's just about how God created the heaven, the world, the land, and the seas, everything that's in them. So it says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light, that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Let's skip down to verse 9. It says, "And God said, Let the water under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas." And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. Down to verse 17. "And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light unto the earth, and to rule over the day and night." Verse 20. "And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." Verse 24. "God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so." Verse 26. "And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." He was talking to Jesus, his son. "And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them, and God blessed them. We scroll down to verse 31. "And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good, and the evening and the morning were the sixth day." This short recap of creation has just been another reminder that, as we know, Thanksgiving is coming Thursday, the time of this post. So I hope that you all will enjoy your Thanksgiving and remember that everything we have, the very earth that we all live on, that we couldn't live without, it was made by God. The animals, the plants, the sun and moon, stars, and most importantly, we ourselves were made by God. So we should give thanks to God for his great mercy, for being with us, for protecting us, and for letting us live to see another Thanksgiving. Not letting us live, rather, but keeping us safe to live through another Thanksgiving. That's what we should be giving thanks for, not just for our family or for the food, but for all the beautiful things God has given us, including his very own Son, who has gave up his life as well to save us. So let's be grateful and thankful for those things this Thanksgiving. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of Sabbath Worship with Ben. I hope you all will have a blessed Sabbath and a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.